So it was to prevent the fall into idolatry. And Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him, had related to us regarding some people in the time of Prophet Noah, righteous people, who, after their death, Satan came to their followers and the people, the community, and suggested to them to make images of them in order to remember these righteous people, and to place these images in particular locations to remind people of their righteousness and encourage them to do righteousness. And the people followed this suggestion of Satan, and they made the images. And when they used to pass by the images in the places of gathering, by the graves, etc., they would be reminded of these people, and they would be encouraged to do good. However, generations later, after the people died out, that generation that made the images, the later generations, having forgotten what the purpose of these images were, Satan came to them again and suggested to them that their foreparents used to worship these idols, used to worship these images, and that it was because of their worship of the images that the rain came, their harvests were good, etc., etc., and those descendants began to worship idols. So the worship, idolatry, began amongst human beings, according to this explanation of Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him, through the veneration of images of human beings. So, because of that, Islam has forbidden its usage, except in places which are not venerable, on carpets, on mats, on pillows that we sit on, we sleep on, etc. These type of places, if there are images there, there is no harm because it's not held in a position of honor. But placing them on our walls, enlarging them, on our clothing, these type of things, it is not permissible in Islam. The next question is from Sheikh Nizamuddin, who writes from Sharjah also, saying, if a person makes an intention to pray sunnah of 2 rakat before the fard prayer, and during his prayer before taslim, he remembers that he is not supposed to pray sunnah before maghrib, should the person continue as sunnah, break it, or continue as fard? Oh, very complicated question here. Let's hear that again. If a person makes an intention to pray 2 units of sunnah before the fard prayer, and during his prayer he remembers that he is not supposed to pray sunnah before maghrib, well, we have to look at this. Who says we're not supposed to pray sunnah before maghrib? It is permissible. It's not forbidden. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, may God's peace and blessings be upon him, did not pray 2 as a regular practice before maghrib, but he did say that between every adhan and iqamah there are 2 units of prayer, voluntary prayer. So it is permissible to pray 2 units before maghrib. So his question, should the person continue as sunnah or break it or continue as fard, is now meaningless. He should complete his sunnah because it is permissible. There is a further question from Sheikh Nizamuddin. He writes, what should a person do if he or she prays only 2 rakats of fard by mistake instead of 4? And this happened to Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him, where for Dhuhr prayer, or some say it actually happened also for Asr, he prayed 2 units of prayer, and then when he was finished, some people got up quickly and left the masjid, and somebody turned to him and asked him, is the prayer of Dhuhr or Asr decreased, or did you make a mistake? Prophet Muhammad said to him, neither was it decreased, nor did I make a mistake. However, Abu Bakr confirmed what the man had said, that the Prophet had prayed only 2 units of prayer. May God's peace and blessings be upon him. As a human being, he was certain he didn't pray 2, but he was obviously here mistaken. So once it was confirmed that in fact he had prayed 2, he told the congregation to get up. He prayed 2 more, and at the end of the prayer, he made 2 prostrations for forgetfulness, sujood as-sahw. So this is what one should do. If one finishes praying 2 and closes the prayer by making taslim from side to side, and somebody tells us, listen, you only prayed 2. You're supposed to pray 4. Then the person gets up at that point and makes the 2 that they have missed. And then before the taslims or after the taslims, they may make 2 prostrations for forgetfulness. And that fulfills it. They're not required to redo the whole prayer over again. So, we have, as a general principle, for mistakes in prayer, mistakes which, or without which the prayer is incomplete, we cover or complete those mistakes, and we make 2 prostrations at the end to cover for those mistakes. Now, if one, for example, has forgotten to make a prostration in 1 unit of prayer, we only prostrated 1 time instead of twice. That unit of prayer is incomplete. That unit has to be redone. If one forgets to bow when straight from standing to prostration, then again that unit has to be redone. It doesn't require us to redo the whole prayer, but that unit has to be redone because the bowing and the prostration are fundamental parts of the units of the prayer. So whenever those are missing, that unit has to be redone. With that, dear viewers, I'd like to thank you for being with us in this segment of the program, In the Light of Islam. And we hope to see you in coming programs. And we'd like to thank Sharjah TV for giving us this opportunity to share with you some enlightenment with regards to Islam in our practical lives. And particularly, we would like to thank the ruler of Sharjah, Sheikh Dr. Sultan, who has made this program possible by his personal recommendation. With that, dear viewers, we bid you all farewell. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.